Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so today we're going to start preparing this 24-inch Ariens snowblower, and it's powered by an 8 horsepower Tecumseh engine. And the owner said that the electric starter works, and he put a little gas in it, and I think he had to prime it to get it to run, but it won't stay running. So right now what we're going to do is I'm going to first check the machine over. We're going to check the oil and everything, and I'll put some gas in it. And I think before that there's a side cover that I'll be showing you. We're going to pull that cover off now to gain access to the carburetor. So far it looks like this is going to be a carburetor cleaning job to begin with, and it does have other problems which we'll go over and address. This may be a two-part video. We'll see how far we get along with it. And I'm going to get set up right now, and I'm going to hook up the extension cord to it, and we're going to pull that cover off the side here. I'll show you how to pull that off. And like I said, we'll check the oil first, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, the first thing you want to do is just make sure it has enough oil in it, which it does. It doesn't even look that dirty, but we're going to go on and change it anyway, because who knows when this thing was last ran. It was in the owner's shed for a while, quite a while from what I know of. Okay, so the intent with this machine is to fix it up and resell it, and whatever I get for it, the owner just wants me to split the money with him, which is pretty fair. I'm figuring I could probably get $300 for it. I'll ask like $350 for it, and you could always work your way down. Okay, now this is the gas tank, and this I don't like already, the way this is all routed all the way down here. Then it has a run upstream again. But let's see if we get this thing to, start up a little bit. I'm going to take that cover off here. The carburetor is right behind here. Okay, so already these are Phillips head screws, but there's enough on here to get a bite on it with a vice grip. I tried to unscrew this already with a Phillips head, but they're stuck in there pretty good, and I was able to spray some WD-40 down in here to hit these screws. I did that a little while ago, so we're most likely gonna have to loosen this one too. And then we have a 5/16 socket you'll be using to take this bolt out here. And then I believe there is another bolt hidden down in here, which is a 3/8. And what we're gonna do now is I'll set the camera up and we'll take this cover off. We're going to pop this choke knob off, and we'll continue. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, so this knob came right off of my hands. But if you ever have trouble getting this knob off, you can just take a flat blade screwdriver and just pop it right off. Okay, so as I was saying before, I couldn't get these screws, so I'm not even going to bother trying to loosen this one. I just put the vice grip on there. Luckily, there's enough of a head on here to where you could put the vice grip on it. And we got that one broken loose. I forgot to get a container for the screws. If you're new at this, you're going to want to put all the hardware, the bolts and screws, with this piece, so you know do they belong to holding this piece on, the cover on. Okay, so I'm going to go get a container. There's one handy right there. So I more or less know where everything goes, so I'm just going to throw everything in one container here. Okay, so now we're going to move on and take off the screw that's 5/16, and hopefully that'll come off. Yeah. There it goes. Let me get the magnet. I think I know where it fell. Butterfingers. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to take that hidden screw out. And for that, we're going to use a 3/8 socket. First one I did years ago, I went crazy trying to find this screw here, the hidden screw. That's not even holding it. There is something else holding it, and I don't know what. Where is it? I don't know. Let's take it out anyway. I'm pretty sure this screw is holding it on also. Yeah, no, I took the wrong screw out. I think it's another 5/16 screw. I forgot, I haven't had one of these apart in a long time. This is the screw that holds the dipstick tube in, I believe, also. Yeah, it is. My bad, wrong screw. So it's not really a hidden screw. You can actually see this pretty easily. And just plop that in the container so you don't lose them. And then you just pop this off, pull it back away from the choke rod here, lever. And we got that off. Okay, so off camera, I'm going to put the bolt back in that we weren't supposed to take out. And I'm going to gas it up in the meantime and run the extension cord out here, and we'll see if we can get this thing to fire up. Okay, there's two problems I see right off the bat here. One of it, which is the throttle. It's returning now because I played with it a little bit. So what we're going to do is just spray some WD-40 on there. I don't even know if this carburetor is any good yet. There's a spring right in here. It's sticking. We're going to spray everything up over here. And another problem is the choke. The choke is seized. Can't turn it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just spray this choke the best we could right now and see if we can get that to work. Spray some on top on the choke shaft here, and then we'll gently take a pair of pliers and try to work it loose. There it goes. Okay, we got. I hope it didn't break from the top here. No, the flap's working. You gotta be careful with these, because see where this shaft goes down into the carburetor that works the flapper? You gotta watch that this doesn't break away from here. Like, I over forced it. I really shouldn't have forced it that much, but we're okay with this. The choke works. So what I'm going to do now is I'll gas it up. I'll put a little gas in there, and let's see here. Oh, it's got one of these. These are good carburetors. I like these. You could adjust the main jet under here, which is really cool. I'm gonna spray that up real good too. Because what I want to do is I want to loosen this whole ball nut here and see if we get any gas flow. I don't like the way those fuel lines, like I showed you, run on this thing. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to get set up to loosen this main jet bolt and put some gas in it. And I'll hook up the extension cord, see if we can get this thing to do a little something here. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing to bust off. I just sprayed a little brake clean in there. Spray a little more in there. Needle and seat's probably stuck and then some. Okay, so we know it'll start. Next thing I want to do is we'll loosen that bolt. I can't even say that today. And what I'm using here is a 7/16 socket deep, because don't forget you have this adjustment out here. This carburetor looks like it's leaking already. I don't know if it's flooding. I don't know. Alright, so we're going to loosen this to see if we get any gas coming out of the ball here. Which I'm sure it probably is, because it's all wet of gasoline here right now. So it looks like we'll be taking the carburetor off and see what's going on with it. Nothing coming out, and I know I have the gas turned on. Okay, so where's the gasket for this now? Is it stuck to the bottom? Yeah. Maybe we give it a couple of taps. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is I'll pull the carburetor off. The easiest way to do this is I'll just pull the intake manifold off, and hopefully I don't rip the gasket there. If I rip the gasket, I always use gasket maker or something. I don't go crazy with that. Gasket maker, works pretty well for it. Alright, I'm going to just stick this back in and make sure it's okay. keep everything from falling off. Yeah, I think I got it started. It's hard to turn. I don't want to press my luck with that. We don't want to strip anything. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get set up to pull this carburetor manifold assembly off. Okay, these are Torx you're going to need to get the manifold bolts out. I'm sorry, I don't know what size it is, but what I use is I use the bit, and then I use my 1/4-inch ratchet with a 1/4-inch socket on here, because that's the best I could do. And now the muffler's in the way, sort of. Oh, it's coming loose good. I have to show you another thing with the carburetor governor rod linkage. There's like 4 choices of holes you can put it in. So what I did was I just marked it with a black marker, so you put it back in the right hole. Otherwise the governor won't function properly. Okay, so I'm just going to drop this bit that we just used and the bolt, the manifold bolt, and I'll put it in the bucket so we don't lose it. And then I'll have to give this a little tap with the hammer. I'm never lucky with these manifold gaskets stuff. Maybe we are this time. Looks like the gasket's stuck to the engine block, which is good. Okay, so we have the primer bulb, the hose that goes to here, and then we have the fuel line, the main fuel line. I'm gonna have to take off. You really can't see what I'm doing, but I'll explain it to you when we go to put it back together again. Or when I get it off, I'll explain it to you. I'll show you. Okay, before I get to pulling off the fuel line, I usually just take this bracket off that holds the cover on. I usually just take it off. And just remember how you put it back on. You know, the open part goes towards the bottom here. So I'm just going to take this off, and I'm going to put the screws in this bracket aside separately. Reason why I did that, it's easier to get to the primer bulb hose that goes right in here. See if we're still in focus here. Yeah, I think we pretty much are. Alright, so I'll take my needle nose here and give it a twist. There's plenty of hose here, so if you rip the hose, you just cut it and stick it on there. Try to pry it off with the screwdriver now. I really can't get in there to give it a twist. And it's coming off good. I'm going to snip a piece off of this anyway, because I can already see it's cracked. Yeah, just the end here is cracked. I'll just snip a piece of that off and then I'll stick it back on. And now I'm able to get to the clamp that holds the main hose on. And I'll do that off camera real quick. Well, it's not going to be real quick. That's why I'll do it off camera. Okay, so the governor rod goes in this second hole back over here from all the way forward. And in case I forget, I can look back on this video. But that's why it's always good to take pictures of taking it apart. This way, if you forget, because you have a selection, you can put it in this hole, this hole. It's for different applications, these carburetors. So, okay, I showed you right. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's get set up, and I'll start taking this carburetor apart and see what's going on with it. Okay, so incidentally, I have good fuel flow coming out of the fuel pipe or a fuel hose. So that's a good sign so far. We're going to be changing that fuel hose, and I'll show you how we're going to do that, because I want to pull the back starter cover off just to make sure that there's no mouse nests in there or anything like that. So yeah, I really like that these come with all these adjustments. This is the main jet adjustment here, and then you have the idle adjustment. The idle adjustment jet, I would say. We want to make sure we don't mix the two up, so I'll put this all the way to the left here. And we'll take this back out and give this a good cleaning. Oh boy, look at this. Yeah, it's a pretty messed up deal here. Looks like the needle's probably stuck in there or something. Alright, I'm going to try to pull this pin out here. Wish me luck on that. Yeah, it's pretty tarnished, and I wonder if this O-ring is still good. It's swollen. Yeah, it's swollen. I'll have to dig and see if I have another one for it. Let's see what's going on. This carburetor may be no good. This might be the time to order a free carburetor from HIPAA, small engine company there. Alright, let me get the side cutters and try to get that pin out. Which I lost. Or did I not have them out to begin with? I don't know. Yeah, you can tell it's an old carburetor. It has the brass floating here. So I'm not really having any faith in this carburetor here. When you use the side cutters to pull these pins out, just don't squeeze too hard. You're not out to breaking the pin, you know. It's not really that stuck. I wonder what caused this to be. Unless the seat's no good anymore, I don't know. Let me try to stick it back in there and see what it looks like. I'll get right back to you. I think this is going to be a little bit of a time-consuming thing here. Yeah, there was something I wanted to tell you on this video here. The float pin hinge here, when you have a real hard time getting them out or putting them back in, what I do is I just take the biggest torch tip cleaner and I just run it back and forth in there and try to clean it up, and then, you know, clean up the pin as well, and you have an easier time trying to put it back together again. I got a little sun glare today, so bear with me, thank you. Okay, so the rubber seat is just so swollen that look how high the float is. It doesn't even operate. And also the bowl O-ring, the bowl gasket's no good. I mean, it's not even worth fixing this carburetor. I'm just going to try to order a new one from HIPAA, and we'll try their product and see what's going on with that. It's a shame too, because I like these carburetors, and because they have all the adjustments, mixture adjustments, and I'm sure the new one that we got is just not going to have any adjustments at all. I don't think I even have a good used carburetor laying around here for this. I doubt that I do, but I think we're going to end this one here right now, and I'm sorry we couldn't fix this carburetor, but you saw what I did to get it apart. And I'm just going to show you around on some other stuff we have to do. Now, the weather is unseasonably warm today. It's supposed to be in the 60s. Over here in Freehold, New Jersey, we may break a record that was held back in 1971 for the warmest day on this day. Today is December 16th, 2021. And, you know, there's far and few good days to work, so I was hoping to get this whole thing done within 2 days, because tomorrow's supposed to be nice out too. But let me just show you around real quick of what else has to be done to this. Okay, so the starter rope is broken. That has to be replaced. And I don't have a glove handle, pull cord handle. It's one of those big, like, oval ones where you could, if you have your gloves on, it's easy to start the machine. I don't have one. This is the cover. I want to take the cover off and make sure it's clean back there. And another problem, it's not a problem, but once I have this cover off, these fuel lines the fuel line runs behind the cover here. So, being that I'll have the cover off, would be a good time to go ahead and change the fuel line, and I'll straighten this out over here, run it the way it should be ran. I mean, it has a real long hose down there. It does have fuel flow, and also what I want to do is we're going to pull this cover off here and inspect the auger belt and the drive belt too as well in an upcoming video. Yeah, so this is the Ariens ST8 24. The 8 is for 8 horsepower, the 24 is for 24 wide. Ariens bought the Gravely company back in 1982. So these are pretty good machines though. You know, no plastic bull. You know, they're made pretty good. And it's a shame about the carburetor, but you know, I was having that feeling that, you know, we'll try to rebuild the carburetor, but it doesn't pay anymore. You get a carburetor for this for 25 bucks. So, alright, so I hope somebody got something out of this so far, and thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.